Welcome to Conflict Havoc number 2. We are going to do a live Instagram and TikTok. I am your host, Echo Fang Grey Wolf, and I will only be doing. Okay, waiting on TikTok. Instagram is ready, TikTok is counting down. Alright, so as you guys know, I'm your host, Echo Fang Grey Wolf. I'm only going to be doing maybe 3 weapons. I'm going to do a bow staff, nunchucks, and then we're going to end with bound fighting. I know you guys get tired of seeing bound fighting and get tired of seeing the same old stuff, but I'm a poor martial artist. I do not have a lot of fancy equipment. Tonight's not going to be the night to do the 3-man formation, only though it would be great to have that because it is nighttime and you do need to know how to defend yourself at night. That is very important. However, according to the news, we're going to have a storm tomorrow. So I am not going to be able to do a live Instagram for Friday. So we're going to do this right now before the storm comes, or these damn bugs. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So again, I'm going to do the bow staff, I'm going to do nunchucks, and I'm going to do bound fighting. Now again, by now you already know the do's and don'ts. So for bound fighting, there will be no tornado kick. There will be no butterfly kick. There will be no jumping spinning back kick. And there will be no reverse tornado kick. I'm not going to show you them just to save time because I want to be off of here no later than 9:30 at the best. Now, plus I got to pack all this crap up. So, because of the weather again, I will not be doing a live Instagram for Friday, and I won't be doing a live TikTok. Now, watch, just because I did this, watch it don't rain tomorrow, and I'm going to be mad as fuck. Because that's how Murphy's Law works. Just want to put that out there. That's exactly how Murphy's Law works. So, we're going to see what happens. But for now, as of now, Friday night Instagram is pretty much canceled. And we'll start with the bow staff. This is not the super long bow, aka the monkey stick. This is a really thin bow. And I will, as I always tell you, you're not going to get the chance to do this. I don't know if you guys can see it because it's black, but technically it's wrapped up in black tape. But it's a pretty long weapon, and when it comes to long range weapons, you're gonna have to be able to do that stuff without the world. This here, if you're at home, it's fine. When you actually get into a fight with this thing, your position is very important. So you strike here, boom, 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 boom. Up, down is my favorite. You will find what works for you. I'm going to tell you what I don't necessarily do. You can do it if you want. And the reason why I don't do it or recommend it is if that I'm only fighting one person, then there's no point of me doing the whole spin around thing. If you're doing this up here, okay, again, training at home. But if you actually get into a fight, whatever's in front of you is your target. The best way to attack somebody in front and then behind, from the side, launch and launch. Not boom and do that. Because if you take your eyes off of one opponent, it gives the other opponent attempting to hurt you that opportunity. So if you know it's 2 people and you see them, boom, boom, that's going to be a whole lot safer than boom, boom. Because this, even though it's a sweep, when you do this and you do this, he's right here. You're dead. But if you are in this position and the guy's right here and the guy's right here, doom, doom, that's safety. Alright? Understand that this, doom, doom, that's a whole lot safer than doom, doom. Now, think about how long it takes for me to spin. It takes me so many seconds to get here. This guy's not going to stand here. When I thump this guy's already moving towards me. So, boom, boom is a hell of a lot safer than doom, doom. And what if I do this and go low and he goes high? Or what if I do this and go high and he goes low? There's no time for that shit. I'm fighting 2 people. Doom, doom. Now, I didn't hit them. I'd hit him in the chest, I hit him in the sternum, I hit him in the belly. And since I'm short, if they're tall, I may have hit them in the no-no square. So if I hit them in the testes and he goes down, boom, 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 you know, those 4 moves right there probably end the fight. Because usually pain generally tends to slow people down. In some cases it stops them, but in most cases it will slow them down. Now if you're training at home and you're doing this shit, you know, tournament stuff, see how that happened? Now you see why you don't do that in a fight? See how that happened? Leave that shit for the movies. I can't see it, it's black. Can't pause lives, y'all. I totally miss that shit like every fucking time. If you're at home and you're doing this, you know, I don't really have too much problems against that and why you're doing it, as long as you know that it's training. You get into a fight with a long-range weapon, you are rarely going to have to use your hands and your feet. But in the case that you do, let's put you back in that same scenario. You have a guy right here and a guy right here. You know, because this guy is hit. This guy's still moving. You know, so you level his shit. Or let's say you go the other way. One of these guys is going to be moving at you when you attack the other guy. That's just a fact of fucking life. If you've never been jumped before, understand how being jumped works. I've been jumped more than once in my life. So I got to put this out here really quite simple. They're not going to wait for you to make a decision on who you're going to hit first. So whoever you hit first, you know you need to hit that second guy immediately. Especially if you have a stick. You have a stick, you don't have too much of a range problem. Boom, boom. You know, you're in position. Alright? You strike this guy first or you strike this guy first. It's not going to fucking matter because you're going to have to strike one of them and then strike the other one without mercy and without, without prejudice and with merciful intent. You are going to have to strike a person that is attacking you. I had to word that specifically for the guys at TikTok, okay? So, if a guy's over here and a guy's over here, and boom, boom, I got 2 jabs and I'm back in the position, I will rarely have to use my hands and feet if I know how to use this bow staff properly. I understand. I'm going to be Donatello up at this motherfucker. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? So, all that can be done, but I have a stick. Let's keep that shit real. I have a stick. You're right there. Your distance of safety ends where my arm begins, or where my stick begins, depending on how I strike. So I'm holding this at the base, and right there is my limit. So if I swing it this way, push out, that's still my limit. However, let's live in reality. You're right there at the butt of my stick. Boom. Gotcha. Now, the other guy is coming. Boom. I got him. Or I can do it this way. Boom. You know, I have options. But 9 times out of 10, and I'll say this again and again and again, I have a stick. It has range. Boom. Boom. I can do that, and I don't have to move all the way around. There's one little problem with that, though. I'm going to live you as in reality. If I strike this guy and I swing here, this guy's already here. Alright? Boom. If I don't step back, he's got me. Because I was too busy trying to be a badass. Don't be a badass. Just kick ass and call it a day. He's right here, he's over here. You know, he's still in an approaching pattern. This guy's the closest guy. Boom, boom. He's going to run into this stick. Now, if he's already close upon me, boom! Okay? Can be done. Can be done. I don't recommend it, but it can be done. Boom! You know, yes, y'all saw that. A left foot and a right strike. Boom! If trained properly, it can be done. Both sides. Boom! But you got to be trained properly. You know? You can't just see some shit on TV and say, hey! I'm Shitara, I can do that shit. Yeah, you can. But the reality is, they're coming at you faster than you think. Alright? Remember that the hand is always quicker than the eye. And striking distance is important. This is why. If I gotta go, and in here to get you, I fucked up somewhere because I have a stick. I have range all fucking day. If I sit here and do this all day, I should hit everything within the range. Unless they like jump over or duck under. So they duck under, and I get the next guy, and I come back. I gotta be fast enough to get back before this guy done landed and hit me. Which goes back to, boom! Keep it basic. Keep it simple. Fancy shit looks good in the movies. That's where it needs to stay. Alright? Yes, I am an actor, but I was a martial artist first. Fancy shit needs to stay in the movies. No one's gonna let you make a whole 275-degree rotation before you hit them with a tornado kick. No one's gonna do that. Because the second you go into the air for that tornado kick, boom, and I got this stick. But you just got in the air, clam, you became a big ass target. Alright? You doing a 540 spin or whatever, where you make like 3 or 4 complete rotations before you throw the kick, building all that momentum. Not on my fucking watch. Boom! You're in the air. You cannot defend yourself very well in the air. Let me repeat that, just in case somebody might have misheard it, flipped the script, misconstrued what I said. You cannot defend yourself completely when you are in the air. I did not say you could not defend yourself. I said you couldn't defend yourself completely. Because generally, the momentum is going to be working with you. If you're fighting somebody who has no experience, you got their ass dead to rights. Unless they get really fucking lucky. Then it does happen, where people can get really fucking lucky and fuck up your day. Alright? So again, keep the fancy shit for YouTube and for videos, like what I'm doing. The basics are going to save your life. Alright? Everybody's gonna laugh. Oh, you're just doing basics. You're just doing basics. Let me tell you something. Basics break people. Fancy shit breaks you. You don't have to believe me. I don't give a damn. You go out there and fuck around, you'll find out. Because no one's gonna let you do a tornado kick and connect that shit. Unless they are a paid stuntman, no one's that stupid. No one. I'm sorry if I just burst your fucking bubble. No one is that fucking stupid. I'm not gonna let you pull a tornado kick on me and let that bitch land. If you're busting a tornado kick, let me put the stick down. Hopefully you all know what a tornado kicks look like. When you're busting a tornado kick, I have options of your instep, or your toe, or your heel hitting me. Or if you're really nasty and you're doing a tornado kick, but you're doing Muay Thai, I gotta worry about your fucking shin and your knee. Yes, that's right, a Muay Thai tornado kick involves more leg than foot. If you guys don't know that, now you do. Alright? Same thing with a Wushu tornado kick. A Wushu tornado kick involves more leg than foot too. So it just depends on how tall that guy is busting Wushu. If he's like flying through the air, if he's already up here, you need to just get the fuck out the way. Alright? And that's the thing a lot of people don't tell y'all when you watch martial art videos. If you're right here, and I'm the guy you're kicking, boom! You don't went by me and I done stole you in the chest. Because I'm not just going to stand there and let that shit happen. You're up in the air. Watch carefully. When you get right there, I'm taking your ass out. When you go, and you're going for that move, and I'm standing right here and I see you coming, wham! I'm going to side kick the shit out your shit. Because, you know, I'm not letting you get into the air. You coming at me with a sequence. I move, and you get there. When I move from this sequence, when you throw this first kick, when you're right here, I should already be attacking you right here. Straight the fuck up. I should not let you get anything. If you get this kick, and I block it away, boom, I'm striking you. If you get this kick, boom, boom, and I'm still there, I deserve the ass whooping that I'm going to get. I'm sorry if that's offensive. It's true. So let's say this is your kick. Boom, boom. See, that's a different kick versus this kick. Boom, boom. Now, I got options. You throw this round kick to my head, and I block it. Wham! Now I done threw your whole game off. Now you got to recover and come with something else. Because now your sequence is stopped. Let's say you get your sequence. And your sequence is this. Boom, boom. I need to not be there. Sorry, YouTube went dark for a second. I need to not be there. So your sequence is a round kick followed by a tornado kick. Blocked around, slice. Blocked around, punch. Blocked around, kick. I know how to counter this shit because I have to. I can't sit here and let you, especially if you're one of those long-legged people, I can't let you do that shit. No. No, hell no. Because I know what happens next. So if you're like over 6'2", I have to control your range, which means I have to get in. And I know every kick that I just showed you, if you're over 6'2", it's going to be nothing but power behind that shit. So my options are block it effectively or get the fuck out the way and pray you make a mistake. Alright? A lot of people don't tell you about how much praying happens in your head while you're fighting. But you're praying from the fucking second that that first punch is thrown. The first thing you're praying is, God, can I take this hit or can I get the fuck out the way? The second thing you're praying is, I gotta do what I have to do because I'm gonna survive this shit. If that means I gotta break every bone in this cat's body, then that's what I'm gonna do. That's how I live my life. When a fight comes into position, I gotta make sure that I eliminate the threat. And I know a lot of y'all don't understand what that means. And I'm gonna substitute some words because I'm on living TikTok and Instagram. But I was taught lethal ordinance as a child. Alright? So as a matter of lethal ordinance, if you and I are both throwing round kicks, it depends on what style I'm gonna use that day. If I'm gonna use Kempo and you throw this round kick, my options: punch to the left because you're throwing a right round kick to my left side of my body. My option: punch right in the fucking knee. Not at the top of the knee, not at the bottom, right dead smack in the knee, because you're throwing a Taekwondo round. Alright? So for those who aren't sure, this is only my opinion, my thoughts, and what I was taught. So you can take it with a grain of salt, but Kempo is a perfect counter for Kung Fu and Karate. So you can go with that, but Kung Fu is a perfect counter to damn near everything because Kung Fu initially came first. Air quotations, y'all. Came first. Because no matter who you ask, there's always going to be a debate on what martial art came first and what martial art is better. Here's the truth. It doesn't fucking matter. Because every martial art incorporates every other martial art. You might not notice it when you see it, but you will notice it if you catch one in the face. Alright? So when you're throwing that Taekwondo round kick, I'm a short guy, so you're not going to go low on me. Your low is too low for you. Unless you're using Kung Fu, you're going to have to kick here or here. Either way, I'm going to see it coming because the hand's quicker than the eye, but the foot's not. Alright? The foot's a big, wide-ass target. So you can't see that because I'm wearing black gloves. Let me get closer. Go from the side. Okay? Now, my foot. Okay, you can see that because I'm wearing white shoes. From the side, front kick, round kick, double side. Okay? You're going to see this big white shoe coming at you. You're not going to miss that unless you're slightly impaired. But I'm going to tell you, the foot's a wider target for you not to miss. With that hand, those little hands are really small. Even if they're on a big person, when you have tunnel vision during a fight, the hand is going to be condensed until it's like right in your fucking eye. So you have to be real careful on that. Now, here's that thing. You're throwing a left jab, it's coming to the right side of my face. For karate, it's a block and counter. And you see how I stepped in? Well, if you block and step out, you could probably counter. Because you're throwing this left, I'm blocking, I'm stepping in for the counter. You can either step out and block low, or you can step out and grab me and throw a knee to the gut. There's a whole lot of things you can understand what to do, when to do, how to do. Now the trick is, how good is my defenses, how good is your defenses? Because this is how fights work, y'all. For y'all who are not aware. No one's just going to sit there and let you beat their ass. It's not going to fucking happen. Alright? People are going to fight back. So if you're throwing a left jab to the right side of my face, and if I do Kempo, and I pow on your hand with my right hand because it's right there. As I'm guarding, crap! I'm going to strike your metacarpals because that's what I was taught to do. I'm going to do a 2-knuckle strike, This is the part where everybody starts laughing because a lot of people don't believe in pressure points. This ain't about pressure points, it's about metacarpals. That's the bones inside your hand. And you're going to throw that punch. So the harder you throw that punch, the better it is for me. Alright? So if you throw that punch and I just rack it, yeah, I don't have to hit it that hard. You're already throwing all the momentum that I need to damage that bitch. If you ever hit somebody and you're doing this after, you damaged your hand a little bit. This is why they teach you how to throw a punch properly in most martial arts schools. You put just enough behind it so that they feel it and you don't. If you're BAM! And you're doing this and they didn't go down, boom, they're coming back at you. You got caught. Okay, that's it. They're coming right back at you. And you're steadily doing this shit. No. You put just enough force in that bitch. Just enough force to hit somebody. And the best way to practice that is to get a heavy bag. Tap it, tap it, tap it. And every time you tap it, if the bag's not moving, just tap it a little bit harder. The bag doesn't have to swing that far to know how much power you need to put in that punch. Alright? I know everybody's going to say, don't listen to Echo Fan Grey Wolf. He didn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Echo's never had a broken bone outside of maybe a toe or two, and I stomped that bitch on the wall once or twice. But that wasn't intentional. I was just like moving and I wasn't paying attention to what the fuck I was doing. But anyway, it's another reason why I always wear shoes. But if I'm tagging you, just tag you, I can work you until you're tired. If I start throwing heavy hits, it's because I need to hit you somewhere where I can do damage. If I'm hitting you in the face, it's more than likely I'm going to break my fucking hand before I break your jaw. Alright? Unless you have a glass jaw, and then I'm good. So then you can scratch everything I just said. But if you don't have a glass jaw, if you got a steel chin, man, I got problems. And that's the things they need to tell you about fights. You know, let me wave at this person. Hello there, dear friend. How are you? And you too. I'm sorry, I can't invite. I'm gonna end the live soon. I'm just like gonna do some more, like one more weapons and then bound fighting. That's my girl, yo. She's awesome as fuck. And if you follow me on TikTok, you can follow the live and you'll be able to find her. I don't give names and shit out because if I do anything stupid, I don't want them to be embarrassed for knowing me. So therefore, but the harder you throw a punch, there's a high chance that you can possibly break your fucking hand. Especially if you're hitting bone versus hitting solid flesh. Either way, if the person's got a steel jaw, you got a problem. So you don't want to do that. You want to just tag this shit. Now, if you want to tag body parts, like if you're hitting in the sternum or the ribs, yeah, you can put a little pepper on it. Just a little though, because I ain't never heard nobody breaking somebody's hand while breaking their rib. You know, you can break a rib a hell of a lot faster than you can break a jaw. So go for that. Now, it's the same thing with kicks. You don't want to put everything behind a kick. Now, in the movies, they sell that shit. Just watch my face. You know, I'm selling it. I'm selling it. So it makes it look like I'm throwing the hardest kick I could possibly throw. Now, in real life, I would tell you, unless you're like in like a really decent pair of shoes, don't throw the hardest kick you can throw unless it's the only thing you have left. Because you're going to have to learn how to fight smarter and harder at the same time, depending on who the fuck you're fighting. You fighting somebody who's an ace, you got problems. Understand that shit. The A in ace does not mean asshole. It means accelerated champion effect. Just y'all can keep that. It's an acronym. It's not how it really goes, but that's how it's going tonight. But that ace, if you're fighting an ace, that means you're fighting somebody who's been training since they was like 4. Alright? And not only do they know how to hit you, they know how to take a hit. So, God help you. That's the only thing I can tell you. Because if I'm going with Snake, and you're knowing Snake or Mantis or even Crane, and you've been doing this shit since you were 4, you have 3 years more experience than me. Because I started at 7. Alright? And mine was by force, not by course. Alright? So, I'm going Snake. And you're going Crane, Snake, or Mantis. You have things that you can use on me, especially if I don't know Crane or Mantis. Now, my Mantis form was fucked up because it should have been like this, just in case everybody don't think I know what I'm talking about. Yes, Mantis is like this, both fangs out, you know, the talons, but, you know, they're still out, you know. So, you know, I need to have my shit straight, and yes, a Mantis does move back and strike. And again, Mantis has evolved. So if you're learning the new shit, then you're probably going to be one step ahead of me in the game because all I know is old school shit. And I only know like maybe a half a form. Which goes back to, Forms are not for me. I'm better at fighting than I will ever be at forms. So you have to go with that. You know, same thing with crane. If I'm going crane, you know, there's more to that, but I'm only fighting one guy. So I got to worry about that guy in front of me. Now if there's a guy behind me, now I got to be able to do what I just did and swing that shit back over this way for the strikes. Now, the thing about fighting, your style and your form ain't gonna look like none of that shit when you go fucking hands up. All that shit's not gonna matter. Your stance will probably be the only thing that's the same. So if I'm taking a mantis or a Wing Chun stand, because I'm going to this way, my right leg's forward, and then Wing Chun, my right leg's forward, because it's block strike. And Kempo, it can be this way, block strike. But for Kung Fu, it can still be this way, block strike. Or in Kung Fu, it really should be block, break, strike. And then Kempo is pretty much the same thing. Block, break, strike. You know? Now, if you want to know, I'm breaking the elbow. Now, if I want to get real nasty, they're throwing a left, so I'm pushing with the right. Elbow, rib, pull. Okay? Now, I just incorporated some Muay Thai into that. Because I broke the elbow, I grabbed them by the back, this part of their body, and the back side here. Wham! I just slammed my knee into all of this shit. And now I'm going back to Kung Fu because they're already bent over. Boom! I'm going to use the elbow that's closest to them. If I want to use karate, I'm going to use the elbow with the power. I'm going to torque that shit and drive it down the back of their fucking spine. Again, I chose the back in the center between the collarbone where your wings are. Fuck. I can do better by touching it. When I elbow them, my primary target is right there between this little T and your back. And the reason why that is so that I hurt them without unaliving their shit. If I really want to unalive their shit, I'm going to hit these three bones in the back of their neck and try to push them bitches all the way through the front of their throat. So, I'm sorry. That's lethal ordinance. I should not be teaching that. Guys at TikTok, please don't kill my life. But anyway, the point being made is, if you're going to learn, they need to teach you how to fight, not just your opponent, but fight yourself and fight the range of the opponent. Now, I got a couple of other rules for certain martial arts, all right? I'm 5'3.5". So, if you're 5, well, we'll give it 6 foot. If you're 6 foot and below, Kung Fu is the way to go. If you're 6'2" and above, other martial arts will show you better love. And the reason why I say that is because you have to learn how to use your range. A lot of people who have longer limbs don't know how to control the range. They just assume that their long legs are going to get them through. So let me end that with this. It depends on who you're fighting. If you're fighting a shorter guy and they don't have fighting experience, yeah, you can toe tap them all day. If you're in a tournament, tap, 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 and you can beat their ass on points alone just by pushing them off the chest. You know, just every time I come at you, if I'm doing taekwondo, cut, you know, before I get you, you got like 2 hits in because of your range. Now, if a short person knows how to control the range of themselves and their opponent, it's not going to work that way. So you go for the taekwondo high-low, and I go for the block and sweep. All right, so I done blocked it with my hands, and I swept your foot from under you. Hopefully, I'm going to get a point, and hopefully your headgear is going to be secure, so when you land on your back and your head, you won't be injured. All right? Now, in a street fight, none of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. A lot of people fail to understand the difference between a tournament fight and a street fight. In a street fight, nobody cares how big you are. Nobody cares what you know. They only care survival and who's going to get fucked up and go home. That's it. And now, in a street fight, I'm going to tell you honestly, I don't plan on having this fight last more than 3 freaking minutes, because most fights don't go more than 3 to 5. It just depends on who you're fighting. You're fighting somebody with little to no experience. If they get lucky, they're going to beat your ass. If they don't get lucky, they're going to get their ass beat. Now remember, it's more about what you can do versus what you know. Because what you know is great when you're at home. But if you ain't field testing that shit and you ain't been in like some serious fucking scrapes, you ain't going to know how good you are until the fight's over. Alright? And that's the thing. I've been in more street fights. I've never been in a fucking professional fight. I'm going to do these nunchucks now. And then I might keep this on just so I don't lose the grip. I'm going to do the nunchucks, and then I'm going to do bound fighting. and then I'm going to end the live. I want to thank everybody for being here. Before I do that, though, I literally almost forgot about the nunchucks. Don't worry, this won't be long. These are practice chucks, just in case the guys at TikTok think that they're not. They're like made out of like line pipe or some shit and styrofoam. I don't really know what the fuck they're made of. I just know that I'm okay with them. You know. Now also, before we get too deep into this, because you're never gonna do that shit in a fight, these are your ranges. Alright, for anybody, you can see this is short range, it gives you a little bit more control. This is mid range, it gives you a little bit more control and less, well, it gives you more reach. This gives you less reach, this gives you more reach. This gives you mad reach, but less control. So, if you're striking with short range, one, the person is too damn close anyway. Okay? So you got your down this way, down that way, you got your up this way, your up that way, and then you got your side to side, and then you got your basic up and down. Understand that you need to do that with both hands, and also understand that this ain't happening in a fight with these things. You have one mission with these things, and one mission only. Strike, strike, put it back. Strike, strike, put it back. Now if you want to get nasty, strike, 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 get it back into a fighting position. If you want to fight like this, boom. You know, if you don't know how to use them, boom. You know, you can use them holding them, you can use them this way. But what you're not going to do when someone comes to fight you, you're not going to do this shit. Say this shit for the movies. If you do this, and that happens, guess what? You're about to get your ass beat. And yes, I let that go on purpose this time around. Most of the time, if they fly out my hands, it's an accident. But, yeah, like I said, if you're whirling them at home and you're just playing, you're just practicing, it's fine. But when you get into an actual fight with these bitches, understand here's your strikes. Guy's coming, boom. He's in striking this, boom. He gets back up, boom. You know, he comes at you again, boom. So understand, you have your right cross, your left cross, both of those are angled down, and then you have your up and your down. Now also remember, if you didn't pay attention, these were coming way too close to there. That could be real bad. And there's one last thing that's very important about nunchucks. I don't know why people who do nunchucks don't tell y'all this shit. When these bitches hit solid objects, they generally come back at you. So you have to be careful at working these bitches, which is why I said, boom, I follow all the way through. If you don't follow all the way through, boom, you see how it bounced back? That's going to come back at you. So when you hit, you want to go all the way through. Now, for your target, you kind of want no more than where that black tape is just barely at, like from where my thumb is to that black tape. You don't want to hit them with the whole chuck, because when it hits solid object, it will go back. So you just want the tip at the bottom. Bam, bam. Because I can tell you right now, if you don't know what you're doing with these things can be your worst fucking enemy when you take into account of how hard you strike somebody. And hello, 3D. I need to wave at you. I'm on bad technology, so I haven't taken any guests, and I'm sorry for that, y'all. I do apologize. But I've never been able to get guests doing a martial art video when I'm actually doing martial arts. I think I can do them when I'm talking, but I don't. TikTok and Instagram, man, I'm a dummy. Let's just face it, I am a technological dummy. You ask me something about Kung Fu, I can answer that. You ask me how to get people on the box, shh, you'd be better off talking to Jesus. In fact, Jesus could answer you long before I could figure it out. Alright, so we're going to end the live with bound fighting. So, again, before I do this, my number one warning is please do not attempt this at home without proper training. If you have been taught old school capoeira, then providing that the teacher was also taught the shit that had the ropes, and so that you could be in ropes while doing your Jenga, that's a different ball game. I will show you what that looks like. So, yeah. Now the reason why that is because remember in capoeira, the slaves had chains. Not this rope, they had chains. And their chains only had yay so much hand space and yay so much foot space. So if you are not a capoeira historian, then you should probably go look into that, because a lot of people that do capoeira forgot that slaves were in chains. Alright? Just remember that capoeira started in Brazil, the slaves were in chains. Lambada is pretty much the same thing, but it's supposed to be from Jamaica. I'm pretty sure I butchered the name in that shit, but it's pretty much the same thing. And they also started in chains. So, again, you are not going to do this reverse tornado kick. You are not going to do a tornado kick. You are not going to do a jumping spinning back. Because this shit is going to throw your balance off. Alright, so your blocking is limited to your flexibility. That's my flexibility. And y'all can look dead at my face and see this is not a protective block. If I try to block with this bitch, it's a pretty good chance I'm going to the ground. Somebody's going to punch the fuck out my face. And I'm probably going to sleep. Regardless, because I'm not flexible on either side, this is not a safe block. So you need to know how to evade. So step, step, step. You want to try to make sure that you're not getting hit. Alright? Now, without a training partner, you have no idea what that looks like. It just looks like some jackass little guy doing this, which is true. With a training partner, it's easier to choreograph a fight scene. It's not so easy to field test this bitch. I have field tested this bitch back when I was 12 years old. My body was a lot different, a lot lighter, not in color, but a lot easier to maneuver, and I probably had a little bit more flexibility, but I still couldn't block with my hand to my face. So you have to learn how to block with your feet, which basically I would tell you front kicks and crescent kicks only. And the reason why I say that is because front kick, you can control the range. Crescent kick, you can control the range. Anything else is bad for you. No jumping front kicks, none of this shit. Because remember I told you about the side step and the strike? That's what they'll do. Just side step, boom. You know? Now, learning how to block with your knees is not impossible. It's highly improbable, but that's also a height thing. I'm 5'3". That's it. If you're not throwing a kick like this to my midsection, this knee block is useless. Alright? Understand, I'm short. This or this is useless for me if you're not throwing a low ground kick. Understand? If you're throwing a high kick to my face, I need to not be there when you throw that kick. So if you're throwing a high round, boom, my ass needs to be out of the way. I need to be like, so when you land, boom, I can engage. Now I generally tell people to not engage if you can help it. And I teach the same shit every time I do this. And the reason why I teach you not to engage is because if you don't have skills, you're going to get killed. I hope that made enough sense for you. I kept that as simple as possible. Now to what I normally teach. If your door's over there, you do not kick your opponent in that direction, you kick them in that direction. If your door's over here, you kick them in the direction that does not go to your door. So if my door's over here, this is a dump. Boom! Because now I put him between me and the door. And that's going to force me to have to engage. So what I should have done was, boom, and put him that way, so that I can go this way. Or, same kick, other leg, opposite direction, which is another outside to inside crescent kick. So I'm here, you guys are him, boom! Now I put you over there. If I'm blessed, that kick knocked the shit out you. If I'm not blessed, it knocked you far enough away for me to escape, which is the main reason why you need to do that. If you don't have a lot of fighting skills, you don't want to engage with anybody. You want to get the fuck out of Dodge. So, again, my door was not over there. My door was over there. So, the two options was, inside to outside with the right foot, boom, sends him to that place where my door is not. Outside to inside with the left foot, boom, I'm still sending him in the direction that I need him to go so that I can escape. Now, if the door's on the other side, if the door's over there, outside to inside, crescent kick with the right foot, boom! I sent him to that way, and I pop my hips and go this way because this is the way the door is. Now, same kick with this one. The door is here. He needs to go there. You guys are he. Boom. All right. I got him that way. Now I need to go that way. It's really not that difficult. Now I don't want to engage with this guy because let's say that my skills just fucking suck. So if my skills fucking suck, I want to get out. I don't want to try to fight somebody when I can't fucking fight. But if I can escape, I'm good. Somebody down the road is bound to help me get out of these handcuffs, or these ropes, or these bonds, whatever the hell it is. Somebody's going to help me get out. I just got to get away from the jackass that kidnapped me first. All right? Now, if you're flexible, which I'm not, yeah, you can do this shit where the shit's down here. I have no idea if you guys can see this besides a good shot of my ass. But if you can do this and you can step through, knock yourself out. I can't do that because my hip doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So I'm just going to escape the best way I can. Now let's say the door's in front of him or behind him and I got to go through him to get to the door. This is where the problem lies. I can use all those kicks now. The question is, how effective are they going to be? So I'm going to give you the be-all of all bad ideas first. Kick him in the nuts. That might not be that effective, but then again, it just might. It's a catch-22 with kicking people in the nuts because most of the time, if they're not wearing a cup, they're going to go down. And your hands are still tied behind your back, but there's nothing wrong with your knee. So, boom, boom, drive your knee into their ass. Now, 9 times out of 10, that should work. The reason why I said 9 times out of 10, if that kick to the nuts doesn't work, you're fucked. All right? People don't like the truth. If that kick to the nuts doesn't work, you're fucked. Now, let's say I don't do that and I choose to engage this guy. I got to stick with basic ass shit. No jumping front kick, which is none of this. None of that shit. Because if I leave the ground and he's a fighter and he's a smart fighter, he's going to sweep my foot that's like behind me. All he has to do is sidestep and sweep. Hell, all he has to really do is sidestep and clothesline the shit out of my ass and call it a fucking day. So we don't want that to happen. So we're just going to engage with either front kicks or side kicks or both. So he's coming at me, boom, that's a front kick. I've repositioned myself. He comes at me, boom, that's a side kick. Now I'm controlling the range. He's not thinking that I'm going to do the same kick twice most of the time. So you have to play it up, you know. So I'm going to the side, boom, boom. You know, I changed it from the side so you guys can see that. It's coming at me, boom, that's a front kick. That's a side kick. And now one more, which is a combo. Side, front, or front, side. You know, I got to keep that shit basic. And I got to keep him at a distance so that he doesn't clip me and I land on my back and break my fucking arms. All right? So understanding that, hopefully you've learned some shit. And again, if you have not been trained with this, please do not attempt this shit. It is not going to work out for you the way you think. And I unfortunately can't invite people, so sorry about that, y'all. But it's almost over. It's almost over. Now, with the front gives you options, all right, because your hands are in front of you now. And before you say it, no, you are still not going to do the jumping, spinning back kick. You're not going to do the tornado kick. You're not going to do the reverse tornado kick, and you're not going to do the butterfly kick because these things are still going to throw your balance off. All right? So, watch how this looks with the ropes, and then watch how it looks without. This is the reverse tornado kick. Okay? This is a tornado kick. Okay? And here's your jumping, spinning back kick. No butterfly kick. Now without the rope. Reverse tornado. Alright? Regular ass tornado. I wish I could use my left leg. It's so much better. Jumping, spinning back. But this is the one I had the hip replacement on. So I have to be very careful. Now if you notice the 3 of them when you watch this video back, the ones with the rope balances off. Fraction of a hair, still off. Anytime you balance this off, it's still dangerous for you. Okay? I'm gonna drink the fuck out of some Gatorade when I get in the house. I didn't bring any out. Now, with the ropes, you have options of blocking now. High right, medium with knee, low. high left, medium with knee, low. Why is this important? Because you can windshield wiper the fuck out of people. They're throwing a kick and you push it around. If you can get blessed, if they're throwing an axe kick, and you can catch it like this and then push off, then you're in good shape, because by the time they hit the ground, they're going to be hurt. Or they're going to see Jesus. Understand, fighting with ropes, you're going to have to understand how to process the fight. You have to understand what kicks are coming at you, because all kicks are dangerous while your hands are tied. Whether they're in front of you or in back of you, everything coming at you is dangerous. But at least this way, you got a chance to block, you know. Now, if you're going to be really smooth about it, and they're coming at you, and they're coming right arm first, you want to step to your left, grab it, and throw a knee to the gut, and then an elbow to the body, all right? Now, if you unfortunately don't know how to do that, and they're coming at you, just get the hell out of the way and try to trip them, because you still have your hands. Now, on the first thing, when you block it, and you throw the knee and the elbow, from there, you use lethal ordnance. You put this over their head, and you get on their back, and you put your knee in their back. And then you reel back until they stop moving. Now, don't wait until them to turn another color. Just wait for them to stop moving. Once you put all the air out of their body, they're pretty much done. The one rule that you need to understand, the one rule that I live by, and you don't have to agree with it, you don't have to like it, but you better fucking accept it. If a person can't breathe, they can't hurt you. It doesn't matter how big they are. It doesn't matter how small they are. The two things you need to function in this life is air and water. You can go longer without food than you can go without water. You can't go very long without air, period. So if a person's not breathing, it doesn't matter if they're 6'9", it doesn't matter if they're 5'2", or 3.5 like me. If I can't breathe, I can't hurt you. You can't breathe, you can't hurt me. So I am going to fight you with lethal ordnance just because my hands are tied. And that's the thing you have to understand. The combat is real, but if you haven't been trained how to do this shit, please don't go out there and try that shit. I field tested it as a child. I don't recommend it as an adult. I know I can do it, but that doesn't mean I should. And that's a lot of things that people also don't tell you about martial arts. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do something. Lethal ordnance is bad. It is very bad. But I am very, very small. I am 5'3" and I am 125 pounds. If you're coming at me, I'm using lethal ordnance because I'm also almost 50 years old. I can't play with y'all young cats. I see the shit y'all be doing on the Paul Mitchell stunt team. I'm stupid, but I ain't no dumbass. And fighting is something that I'm fairly decent at. I also have a dog. That just has to go and interrupt my life. Please don't shit there. I don't care what else you do, just don't shit there. Alright? If this bitch takes a shit, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna end the live now because I don't want poop on the end of my video. So thank you guys for watching. I am your host, Echo Fan Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Africa number 2 for TikTok, for Instagram. Thank y'all very much. Instagram, again, there will be no Friday because they're calling for rain. And this thing won't let me end the stupid freaking video. Clear that. And now we end. Okay. YouTube. Thank you guys for being here. I hope I taught you guys something. We've been on here almost an hour. Hopefully the dog didn't shit. And I'm going to start packing all this stuff up and I'm going home. And no, she didn't, because she's running around right here. Don't you touch my cables. God knows if you trip one of them cables, it's going to be a National Lampoon incident, and I'm not paying for your crippled ass to be dead. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. Be seeing you. I will make another video tonight after I shower. It just won't be Kung Fu. Be seeing you.